Hello everyone, this video will highlight one of my favorite figure from the X-Men the animated series, the Dark Phoenix Saga Heroclix set, and that is the Chase Jean Grey. Looking at her card, so Jean Grey has the Hellfire, Phoenix Force, Cosmic, and Ruler keywords. He has one trait which is Inner Circle Club, Black Queen, Outwit, but only to choose a black power or a special power, meaning white power. Mind Control. When Jean Grey uses it as range, modify attack +1, and she may instead target any number of characters of lower point value. They must still be opposing and within range and line of fire. She has a special movement power, which is Jason Wingard has shown as the way sidestep. Other friendly characters can target Jean Grey when using mind control, and a special defense power, which is stop, invulnerability, cosmic team ability, and flight. When this click is first revealed, after resolutions deal 3 damage to all other friendly and opposing characters within 6 squares. So it doesn't need to be uh, within line of fire. And as power action, you can replace Jean Grey with the Colossal Dark Phoenix on click number 25. So here's the back of her card. So you can see she has that special movement power on the first to 5 clicks. And then for her attack, she has 11 penetrating psychic blast on her top dial with 18 defense and 4 damage. And click number 6, that's where she will have her stop click with 9 sidestep and 11 pulse wave. Point value of 75 points. Definitely this is a chase that is worthy to be used on her full points and used as a main figure or as a call-in to the Jean Grey faculty ID or student ID. For this particular video, we are going to use her as a main character, main figure in your force, and we will do some interesting things about her mind control. Especially her special movement power wherein other friendly characters can target Jean Grey when using mind control. Because traditionally, mind control is only to target opposing characters, so that particular trait is very unique to Jean Grey. Let me read to you guys the details about mind control, which is close or range, minimum range value 4, make a close or range attack. Instead of normal damage, a hit character halves speed and becomes friendly to your force and may in either order move and or make an attack. Then it reverts forces. So that particular trait of Jean Grey would allow, as mentioned, even friendly characters to mind control her. And with that being said, there are quite a few figures that would have mind control on their top dial that we can combo with Jean Grey. The first one that I'm going to share with you guys is the Shadow King from the X-Men the animated series set as well. So for those of you who are not familiar with the Shadow King, this is his card. So as I mentioned, the focus for this video is the mind control ability of other figures that we can use for the Chase Jean Grey. For Shadow King, it will be on his special movement, which is mind control and facing teleport. Once per turn, when Shadow King uses either, after resolutions, he may use the other one at no cost. So ideally, we would like to use him at 150 point starting dial. That's click number 13, wherein he got that special movement 11. Okay, and then pulse wave, invulnerability, and probability control. So what you can do is you can use Shadow King to do facing teleport, and then you can carry Jean Grey, and then after carrying Jean Grey, then you can sidestep Jean Grey, and then or rather you can mind control, use the free mind control to mind control Jean Grey and two other opposing characters. Please take note that Shadow King has 3 damage, 3 targets, so that means he can mind control 3 characters, so one of which will be Jean Grey. So I think that is a good use of the free mind control after the facing teleport for Shadow King. Even better and similar to that is Onslaught's mind control. So take a look at Onslaught trait, which is a Psychic Juggernaut. Onslaught has protected mind control, outwit, and penetrating psychic blast. And once per turn, Onslaught can use Incapacitate as free, or Mind Control as free, or Telekinesis as free. For a 300-point game, we're gonna use Onslaught at 125 points, wherein it has the what you call this, facing teleport movement at 8, and then 11 with a special power, 18 invulnerability, and 4 with a special power. The 4 special damage power is probability control, shape change. When Onslaught uses probability control to reroll an opponent's character's attack roll, and the final result is a miss, after resolutions you may place that opposing character up to 3 squares away from their current square. So just like Shadow King, you can carry Jean Grey, facing teleport 8 or 7 rather, and then trigger that free mind control to mind control Jean Grey and 2 other characters within opposing characters 9 squares away. So what you can also do is use the free TK on Jean Grey so that he can move further away, and he can do her mind control for all characters less than her point value. Another good thing with this particular combo is that Onslaught has probability control, and I think the wording of mind control right now is that since it's an attack, you can use probability control. I remember before it was specifically mentioned in the PAC that mind control is not an attack, but I think they changed that. If not, please do comment on the video if I'm wrong. So we can also use other characters, one of which is Cassandra Nova, especially if you want to use or if you want to form a ruler team. So mind control, when Cassandra Nova uses it, for each character she hit, after resolutions, those that attack and get hit get an approved token, and otherwise they get a rejected token. So characters with 1 or more approved tokens modify attack +1 when on your force, and characters with 1 or more rejected tokens modify attack -1 when not on your force. So, and her attack is 11. So that would mean 3 targets. So that would mean she can mind control Jean Grey and 2 more opposing characters. And the good thing is that if Jean Grey is mind control and hits, Jean Grey would have +1 attack. I think that is permanent because she can get the approved token from Cassandra Nova. So that is a good bonus aside from the mind control, from the free move and attack from Jean Grey. Another character we can use is Emma Frost, if you want to make especially a Hellfire Club team for Jean Grey and Emma Frost. Emma Frost has mind control, just like Jean Grey. So he modifies attack plus 1, and she may instead target any number of characters of lower point value. But we want to use Emma Frost together with Jean Grey for her second trait, which is friendly characters can be targeted by opposing characters that are more than 6 squares away from them. So meaning, since we're mind controlling Jean Grey, we're pushing her onto the enemy's territory. So that means that trait from Emma Frost would definitely help prevent range attacks and will force them to go closer to Jean Grey. And if they go closer, that means that they're within 6 squares of Jean Grey. So when they hit Jean Grey, they will be affected by her exploding when hit and when she reach her stop click. But aside from X-Men the Animated Series figures, there are some other figures that we can explore to use Mastermind on Jean Grey. So the first one is Professor X from the X-Men Savior School set. I'm sure everyone knows the mechanics for this particular Professor X. We're in mind control, and so he can use mind control regular, or he can use it as a special range action wherein he targets all opposing characters within range but cannot make an attack. But they are still given movement. So you can target Jean Grey as well with this particular special mind control. We can also use the other Professor X, which is the Prime Professor X Brood. Let's take a look at this card. So I would tend to, let's take a look at his special movement power, which is Mind Control Sidestep. When Professor X uses Mind Control and hits, replace each hit character's attack and damage value with the highest printed attack and damage value respectively among them. So that is crucial because this Professor X would have 3 targets. So one target will be our Jean Grey, and since values of the attack and damage can be replaced among those hit by the mind control, then that would mean other characters hit will have the 11 attack 4 damage of Jean Grey. Of course, when we talk about mind control, we cannot exclude the skull from the Earth X set. So the skull has a special mind control as his trait. So mind control, when the skull uses it as a range action, he may target one character regardless of range. It still requires line of fire, but can target other characters. So he usually would have 3 targets, but we're gonna use him for the long range mind control. To mind control Jean Grey, and then that would mean move and attack for Jean Grey to possibly hit opposing characters. Please note that although a character that is mind controlled loses her abilities, but he doesn't loses the perplex, enhancement, or empower if there's any. We can also use Queen Bee to do our mind control. She starts off with a special power for her mind control, which is Hypno Pollen. Mind control, when Queen Bee uses it, she has 3 targets, so meaning we can target Jean Grey and 2 other characters, and she may also target all opposing characters adjacent to an original target. So the good thing about this particular piece is that she has flight and running shot. So technically you can do running shot carrying Jean Grey to do mind control Jean Grey and two other characters. So that would be very interesting. And please note that she has enhancement, so Jean Grey can possibly be increased 1 damage when mind controlled by an attack using Queen Bee's mind control. And finally, if you don't have points to spare, you can always use the X student at 25 points or at 15 points. If you're lucky, you can roll. I think for this particular X student, the opponent can choose a starting dial if used at 15 points, but you can use him at 25 points and choose click number 7 as the starting dial, wherein he will have mind control, 8 movement, 11 attack, and again you can use that to mind control Jean Grey. To summarize, here are the figures again that we can use for mind control of Jean Grey. Let's put them all together in one group shot before we end this video. So I've always seen mind control as one of the least used powers. Of course, support being the least in our case here in the Philippines. So I think the unique feature of Jean Grey enabling her to be mind controlled by friendly characters, something that gives a boost to the mind control power. So I hope you enjoy this video and do share some of your ideas how we can maximize this Jean Grey mind control.